Hello everybody and welcome back to RogueTech, where we are pretty much ready to head out on our second mission here. Of course, T-Bone is still injured and our Apollo is still being repaired, but that is absolutely fine. We're gonna hop into the command center here and see what we can do as far as contracts go. So, are we interested in half skull? Are we interested in one skull contracts at this point? It's probably a little bit spicy to do a one skull, but that is good salvage. Of course, so is this one. This is a blackout, and I'm wondering what the actual tonnage restrictions are on this blackout mission. We could certainly see. I mean, unfortunately, we have to accept it to actually know what it is. And, I mean, we do get a free, or not really a free no, we do get a free priority salvage here. This is actually decent, and it's against the planetary government. Honestly, I'm leaning towards doing this. I don't know what we're going to have for the tonnage restrictions, but let's accept this and find out. What's the worst that could happen? So maximum of 400 tons? Oh, that's not a problem. Okay. So we've got our scimitar here. We're not going to be running T-Bone, of course. So we've got our trebuchet, and who do we want to pilot our trebuchet? Well, whoever's got high gunnery and high tactics is the answer. So let's see here. We could go with Brick. Brick is fine. And of course, that's got a minimum of 5 tons there. And then beyond that, we would be bringing probably our fire starter. We would bring our centaur. And then we would probably... Would we want to bring our fireball, or would we want to bring our locust? Well, the fireball is significantly higher armor. So I'm going to bring the fireball for now. And we can just kind of assign people into these somewhat at random. Affinities are going to be a thing. But, I mean, we're going to replace these mechs anyway, pretty much guaranteed. I'm going to put Magus in the fire starter, I think. And then the centaur, well, arguably we should put Magus in the fireball. That mech is the most likely to get just absolutely demolished here. And Magus is our company commander. So we should put Magus into the fireball. We could put, say, Hardcase into the fire starter, and then GV into the centaur. Ah. Pilot needs neural implants because it's a proto-cockpit. Gotcha. So, do any of these other than ourselves have that? Negative. Okay, so we have to pilot the centaur. Gotcha. So then we can have GV in the fireball. That'll be okay. And we do have another slot here. This is only a vehicle slot, and we have no vehicles available, only mechs. So that is absolutely fine for the moment, and I think we just deploy this. Indeed. As usual with RogueTech, this is going to be a long loading process, so I will see you guys in just a moment. Okay, so here we are all loaded up. I am seeing up in this corner that this was apparently made with Mission Control Designer, and this might be a custom-made mission rather than a random one. I don't know. I'm not entirely sure on that. That appears to be new. We're going to, of course, begin the mission, and let's see how this goes. It's always exciting. Always exciting in RogueTech. So landing site is secure, and it looks like we did not get to set our landing zone. Okay. We've got some fog going on here. And this is awkward. We are definitely significantly split up by this cliff. Okay, our trebuchet does not have jump jets, so we're just going to have to start running around.
Confirmed.
Our fire starter does have jump jets, so we could theoretically make our way out over here. And our centaur does not have jump jets, but is actually currently stuck. Okay. There is a button here. Careful maneuvers. Yes. And apparently that ended the turn now. That's interesting. Well, we don't really want to proceed forward right now until we get grouped back up. Ah, there we go. Now our centaur can move again. So we want to just crawl our way back up or down here. I think we're going to be much better off to go up, so that's going to be the goal. We're going to back off our scimitar over here, and we just need to get grouped up. That is our primary goal right now. So we're going to move around with our trebuchet, our fire starter, and yeah, our centaur is now able to move. So that looks good. I'm just going to brace the fire starter and scimitar down here until such a time as we get grouped up.
Move order received.
because we are significantly split at this moment.
Roger that.
So that's all looking fine. We'll just cruise through these couple of turns here.
On it.
No real issues there right now. We're almost caught up. You can brace. There you go. Phenomenal. And we are basically here now.
I'm moving.
There we go. Now we're grouped together.
Hunkering down.
And we can head on forward. So, looking ahead here, we do see some turrets here. We're probably going to get ambushed. What is this here? That's a medium reinforced building. Okay.
Roger that.
So I'm strongly suspecting that we're going to get ambushed here,
Copy that.
but we'll find out. We're going to position in this cover
going.
with as much speed as we can get for the moment. And we've not yet established our sit rep. Okay. I'm going to stick to the cover for now, and we're going to make our way up over here with our centaur.
Affirmative.
Interesting.
I'm walking here.
Continuing to
Onward.
move in here. No sit rep established still. Oh, we need 2 units in there. Right. So we could definitely move the trebuchet in, but I'd kind of like to keep the trebuchet positioned back a little bit out over here. I'm going to move the fire starter, I think, or the scimitar. The scimitar has a lot more or a lot more armor, I should say. So we're going to move the scimitar up over here. There we go. Place has been slagged. Yep, that's the standard thing there. And then we're not actually getting ambushed, so we just need to head over to the main compound. So it's very, very dark and hard to see right now, but it looks like we should probably... We could make our way around this way, or we could cut down this direction, and I think that's what we're going to do for now. So we're just going to head down this direction. Our fireball can position about here. Our trebuchet is going to be lagging a bit behind.
Location confirmed.
And we'll probably wait for the trebuchet here. So I'm going to brace the centaur. We're going to give the trebuchet an extra movement turn here, as well as our scimitar.
Moving to position.
Cool. So the trebuchet moves up. These 3 are all going to brace for the time being, and the scimitar is going to group up with them. There we go. And now we're going to move the trebuchet in again, bracing all of these, and now we can start moving. Phenomenal. So we do know that there's some turrets up over here. We're not sure what the actual situation is up at the core base just yet. So we'll just head on up there and see. What do we got? Okay. Welcome to the front lines. Fantastic. Okay, so it's now a base defense mission. Gotcha. So we do see some local government forces that are, like, right here.
Waiting for orders.
They are right on top of us. Okay. Do we currently have any, like, inability to attack? It looks like we do. So yeah, we are, like, right in their landing zone. So the scimitar is going to move around over here. It can't fire at this moment. There's the spawn protection removal. Okay, so now we can get in there and start working on this. We've got a flea here. Okay, we've also got a wasp down this direction. They've got 12 evasive right now, and that's the case for all of these. Noted. So I'm just thinking right now about where we might want to go and what we might want to do. I think that a melee attack here is probably not a great idea. We have a lot of different weapons here. But the physical weapon only has a 14% chance to hit. So I don't think we go for that. That would lose us all of our evasive, and that would be very bad. Now, +4 difficulty to hit units passing through spore clouds, but that will give an additional 20% damage taken. So I'm not going to go that route. We're going to head out over here for now and probably target this wasp.
Roger.
Okay. Looks good. We're in water, so we're not going to get any heat effects. What do we got? Actually, we got some damage in there.
Punch right through his armor.
I like it.
I'm ready.
So next up is going to be our fireball. The fireball is really ideal for punching. We could theoretically put it over... Specifically, I'd like it to go here. We could put it over this way and just fire, though. And I think that's exactly what we're going to do. We can go into X6 mode for our machine gun and try to roll up some crits in here. Let's do it.
Confirmed.
Okay, arm destruction.
This just in. Critical hit.
We'll take it. They're firing on the standard LBX-20 turret. Sure. I would be scared of that LBX-20 turret too, to be sure. Getting a laser hit in on our Centaur, but that's not really the biggest of deals. So at this point, we've got this fire starter here, and we have a good hit chance on that Wasp. But I don't want to hit it from here because that exposes our rear arc to these guys. So we're going to come around and hit it from the side here. Do we fire the flamer at it? Wait, flamers no longer use flamer ammo? Internal ammo flamer. Okay, noted. So flamer ammo is internal. Gotcha. I think that's a minor change there. So we could definitely roll up a kick here, and we have a 42% chance of hit. If we don't hit, the fire starter is not going to have evasive, but we're only going to have 3 evasive anyway, to be honest. So we'll roll this up and see how this goes.
Attempting physical attack.
Okay, we missed the physical attack. That's unsurprising.
No joy.
That was some solid hits there, though, all things considered. We brought up the heat of the Wasp, got some internal damage. This flea moves up and positions there to go for this small military building. Okay. The turrets are going to do some real damage here, I think. So we can get in behind these guys if we want to. We could theoretically go for the Kendiru with a charge, but I don't like charges. They end up eating a lot of damage. So we can position here behind the Fire Bee and the Kendiru. This is actually a 95% hit chance on the Fire Bee. It has no evasion. We could straight up kill it here. Its rear armor is really weak.
Yeah, you like this.
We didn't kill it. We took out its left torso,
Cobra
but that's still significant. Okay, a sensor lock on the flea. And a little bit of splash damage on the Fire Bee and Kendiru there. I like it. Let's see what they do here. I'm shocked they didn't shoot at our fire starter there.
Yep.
I really would have expected that. At this point, Kendiru has 6 evasive. No, it has 7. Gotcha. I think maybe we move up here and go for the trooper, although we should try to hit ideal range. So that would end up being about here.
On my way.
Are we better off in other types of... we have hot load and standard? Okay. We'll just fire standard LRMs. The trooper has very little rear armor.
Got it.
And it's just dead. Nice.
Hostile.
So that went very well. Let's see what else our turrets do. The Kendiru is taking fire from that LBX. No damage on the Wasp there. I'm not sure if the Kendiru took damage there or not. I don't think it did, strictly speaking. No, it did in that front arc. A good amount of it, too. Okay, so I'm going to move our Centaur, I think, over to take out this Fire Bee. This should fully eliminate it. It's just gone. I don't see it surviving this.
Giving it everything I've got.
And there we go. Phenomenal. So there's half of them gone. Is this the only lance, is something we have to ask. And this very much doesn't feel like it was custom created, to be clear. This feels like it's randomly generated, but I don't know that for a fact. So we could certainly make our way up with the fireball and try to chase down this Wasp. I think that's a reasonable idea.
Rolling.
Because we can roll into these weak rear arcs. And let's see what we get there. Okay, we took out a torso.
Take that.
Not bad at all.
I'm receiving you.
So now the Scimitar can move up and attack the rear arc of the Kendiru. And that's really the only target for it. Probably should have backed off a little more. Are we within the minimum range? Yeah, we're within the minimum range of this AC-5. So that was a small mistake. We have 19 shots on this. I think we fire it anyway. And we did hit, remarkably.
Orders.
So our Trebuchet at this point, I would love to make its way up over here. But really, I think that our best bet is to go for the Kendiru. Well, we could move around over to here. we can't get into ideal range for the LRMs, but we can position here and just lob a few. We might kill this wasp. Odds are low, but let's take a look. We missed every single one of those. Okay, that's not super shocking, to be honest.
Orders.
At this point, the fire starter is going to move in, and we're going to finish off the
Moving
wasp.
to position.
We're not going to fire the flamers here. The flamers are... They're very hot.
Rear armor is in.
But there we go. More damage into the wasp. We crit the gyro,
That's good.
but unfortunately, it's not destroyed. That said, the artillery turret finishes it off. Fantastic. What are those guns that it's firing? The mortar turret here. Well, presumably it's just firing mortars. Okay, so one of these buildings was taken down by the Kendiru. That's not shocking. It's the only remaining target, though, at this point. So we'll see what the turrets get done here, if the LBX turret even has LOS on it. It does, but it missed. Okay. We're a little bit concerned about taking fire from that LBX turret with stray shot. That said, we can get behind this guy. Is his rear armor actually weaker than the front armor right now? No, surprisingly. The front armor is actually a slightly better place to hit right now. So we could definitely go for a kick here. The machine gun is currently jammed, which is expected. But let's see what we get out of this. Hopefully, we don't end up losing our own mechs to the turret. The friendly turret would be a problem, but let's see what we've got.
I've got your back.
So we can move our Centaur up here. We could definitely sprint up to here. I don't think there's any point in firing, though.
What do you need?
Then we've got our Trebuchet, which really we should be positioning like out over here-ish. I'd like to be a little bit further back, but we can't turn and be that far back. We could back off a little bit. We can fire like this. This is okay. We got some armor damage there. Looks good.
Commander.
And now the fire starter can move in here. And the fire starter is likely to be the one to do some real damage here. I really don't like having our back turned to the LBX turret. Watch the LBX turret just utterly demolish our fire starter here. I'm going to fire the flamers because heat damage does bonus damage to vehicles, at least last I knew. And we're going to try this out.
Copy that. Ugh.
We missed the melee attack. Sad. Okay, that's not doing bonus damage there. Noted. Okay, so the laser turret fires. It doesn't get all that much done.
Commander.
Our scimitar is wanting to position really a little further back than this. Even that's only 21%. Okay, that is certainly not ideal. We can park
On the
here,
way.
and we can fire the SRMs anyway.
Behind you.
And let's see what happens here. Well, the Kendiru gets to move. And if it moves somewhere that's not here, that's actually good for us. We don't want the LBX-20 turret taking pot shots past our fire starter here. Okay, it fired at our Trebuchet
Light damage, Commander.
and then didn't move. Luckily, the LBX turret just didn't fire. Okay.
How can I help?
So our Centaur can move in here, and actually I want to make sure that we are in a melee mode here. So I want to... Okay. I was intending to melee, but I guess this works. So this thing didn't move, right? And it's super dead for me. That's great. These proto-mechs are pretty strong, to be honest. Okay, so apparently that was the whole mission. I'm actually surprised. I was expecting a second lance and an ambush, but we'll take it. We'll absolutely take it. Now, what are we going to get out of our salvage? Kendiru parts, perhaps? I don't know. We'll see. There might be some decent weapon systems that they had available. We're probably not all that interested in the chassis, though. But that was definitely a quick one. No doubt about that. So, salvage-wise, what are we interested in? Not interested in a flea part. Maybe Kendiru parts. Medium pod bolt-on. Rocket-based. Okay, we're not actually all that interested in that then. What else is available here? I mean, light rifles. There's not a lot good here. We could grab a medium laser Agra. Chaff countermeasures is not the worst thing in the world. I suppose we could grab the M-Pod bolt-on. How much ammo does that actually have? 5 evasion pips ignored. I'm assuming it has internal ammo. It is volatile, so it can explode if it gets hit. That is unfortunate. Requires 1 ton carry capacity. We can grab it and experiment with it. I'm not sure how many rounds of fire it has. Oh, it carries internal ammo for a single attack. Okay, well, it does do a lot of damage. 120 total damage if you hit everything. That's significant. So we can do that. We can take a couple of Rocket 10s. Those are also one-shot weapons. And then beyond that, we could take this Engine Core 175. Engine cores are pretty valuable, so we could certainly do that. And then we can keep that flamer around. Light rifle is probably going to be somewhat useful to keep around. We probably don't need these single heat sinks. We've got 15 of them right now, so I'm going to sell those. Primitive sensors, I don't think we need those either. Generic structures, I'm going to get rid of those. Those exist by default. And then we've got a couple of half tons of machine gun ammo. That might be useful to keep around. So we'll keep that for the moment. That'll be okay. But overall, that was surprisingly simple. I mean, it was only a half skull, to be sure. But this is RogueTech we're talking about. I was expecting more out of that mission. Oh, that's a new loading screen tip. You do not recognize the bodies in the water. Well, that's probably a good thing, all things considered. Probably a good thing. So we're going to load back in here, and I don't expect there to be any significant damage. We took a couple of armor hits, but that really wasn't too bad. So that's great. I was expecting a second lance in an ambush, but it's all good. So yeah, 2,003 days for the repairs. Absolutely do that. And I think we just tick forward the 2 days to get or I guess 4 days to get our mech warriors back. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Oh, one more day. 4. There we go. And now we're ready to go again. Yeah, our Apollo is still getting repaired and T-Bone is still injured, but that's fine. We're going to be done with that relatively soon. That said, we may want to start thinking about getting a second mech bay going here, or just getting repair and refit upgrade to increase our tech points. That would be useful as well. We are currently at 3 million C-bills, so we could definitely think about getting some upgrades going here. What do we need for mech bay 2? Repaired power conduits. Okay, so that would be this guy here. Yes. So we'll get that going. We have 10 days on that. So that'll be absolutely fine. We'll get that completed, and we should deploy again. It is time to put a cut in here, though. Almost perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we're going to head on out, and we're going to go again. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings. And a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Shadow Wolf, Andy McGar, Spartan News, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Soccerman12 UK, and Kentogan, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.